Welcome to Cbus Mob. It is episode 6 of season 2. We are incredibly excited to have a dear friend of mine, Amanda Padamadan of Amanda Graphics. We are going to talk about what it's like to take over a family business and how the mutual respect you have for your parents can lead to a really successful and fruitful life and career. Stay tuned. I think you'll take some really good things away and feel incredibly positive when you finish listening. Welcome back to Cbus Mob. I am here with Amanda Padamadan, owner of Amanda Graphics and a dear friend of mine. Amanda, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I don't know what you want me to introduce myself as. I own a business. I own a engineering consulting firm. My dad started it and we call him the figurehead, but he literally does nothing but every once in a while asks for checks.
So he's enjoying retirement or second career is what people tell me it's called.
I will say his life is my goal life right now. So. But yeah, it's an engineering consulting firm. We work with utility companies. So I do a lot of design work for landfill, road design, ditch design kind of stuff. We do a lot of drafting stuff. And then I don't know if you want me to talk about the other.
You're working towards your surveyor license for this company?
Yes. So 3 years ago, we purchased a survey company. My actual surveyor, Chuck, just retired last year. I will say I did not do good future planning in a business to make sure that when somebody is out that I had something in place. It was always one of those, I should, put out some, but never fully did it. And then he's like, I'm going to retire. And I was like, that's not a bad idea for you, but it's a bad idea for me. So I finished my surveyor certificate last June. And so now I just have to sit for the fundamentals exam first and then the professional exam and then take it to the board and see what they will be kosher with.
What does that look like to go back to school? Because you ran Amanda Graphics for at least a decade, probably longer. And then you're like, crap, I have to go back.
So the school part really, other than time, wasn't that horrible. So actually, Allison, I don't know if you know this, but I went to undergrad at UC.
Yep, I did know that.
Graduated. I went to undergrad for marketing design with a focus on entrepreneurship. And in my case, when you are young and have all the dreams in the world, my plan was to do marketing stuff. And so I moved to Chicago. I got this job. I hated it. Now, it was like cold calling. I really was supposed to be doing this like insurance companies marketing brochures. And that's what I got like. They're like, come work for us, hired for, whatever. And then the guy who was my boss went on vacation. So the other partner lady was like, I don't know what to do with you because I don't know what you're working on. Will you just be on the phones for this week? And you know me, I'm a trooper. I was like, okay. It's 100 dials a day, which is why to this day, if someone calls and it's a hang up, I'm always like, you're probably just trying to make your quota because I literally learned.
I've been in those shoes before.
Yeah. I was like, I literally learned which phone numbers I knew would not answer and I would just call them on repeat so that it was
so funny.
It would mark that I was calling 100 people in a day. But yeah, then he came back and he was like, I heard you've been doing really good on the phone. And I was like, absolutely not. I don't know what this bait and switch is, but I'm not doing it. So I left and that company is no longer around.
Shocking.
But yeah, so then I moved back to Ohio and Dad had Amanda Graphics. And I had always from high school on done like CAD drafting design stuff with him. And when your family does it, like you don't think of it as a career, you're just like, I just help when
it's just what Dad does.
He just tells me to come in here and do this and I do it. And so, and in the summers, I'd always just come in and like be the head of some project for whatever. And it just never was like a thing on my radar. And so he was like, just come help me because I have a big project and I know you could do it. And so I did it. And then like, and he was like, you can keep looking for marketing jobs. And as I kept doing it, I was like, actually, the design part of this like fulfills my like design marketing sort of needs. Yeah, my need for design. I mean, it's not the exact same, but it does meet I was like, I like doing it. I'm good at it. And so, I will say it's the funniest thing because I'd say in my teens into my mid 30s, telling people that I worked for my dad at Amanda Graphics. Like, and I'd always just be like, it's his business. And then, 2008, when he made me a partner or whatever, I was like, it's his business. It's his business. I'm working for my dad. I don't.
Yeah. Do you think it took you that long because you needed like the confidence to say, like, I know what I'm doing? So I had this conversation with my wife about how I finally feel old enough to do things. And it's really not, it has to do with actual age, but it's like the confidence.
Yeah, no, it's just that weird thing because everyone else had like regular jobs and we're getting promotions. And I'm just doing the same thing, making the same amount of money. It wasn't until I probably like truly embraced that I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is my real path.
Yeah.
Like, I have made a decision and this is what is going to happen. So it really isn't about how comfortable, because I always felt comfortable in everything that I did. It's more the embracing that I was like, yeah, correct. This is who I am. I own a business and that's my position.
How have you fulfilled a little bit of that need? Because I think as business owners, it's really hard because you hear people like, oh, I'm going for this job, or I got tired of what I'm doing and I'm going to go into this new role. And as a business owner, I mean, I guess you could do that and just like pivot your business completely, but you really can't.
Yeah.
So you have to find other ways to like find that fulfillment of changing up what you're doing.
So I don't know if it's the fulfillment of changing up for me as much of it is, because I will say every day is different for me in terms of like what I'm working on or what projects here. Like, so there's that change. For me, it really is more that. So when I went back to grad school to get my master's, which goes back to your original question as to being an adult that goes back to school, like it is weird. But in grad school, I got a internship at a different company and I worked for someone else, and it was a different like electric company, and I worked in their GIS department. And I was clock watch, and I was in this room with these two ladies that like did not talk to me, and like literally like I had a list of like what I was supposed to be getting done, and I would get it done like so quickly, but they'd still just be like, you were 2 minutes late from lunch. Are you staying 2 minutes late after? And I was literally like so miserable that I quit. I mean, I quit that internship halfway through. And I told OSU, like I told my advisor, like I was like, I can't, like I come home miserable. Like it is 8 hours of just sitting in this room with these two ladies that hate
doing
each
2
other.
hours of work.
Doing two, like, but having to sit there and make sure I'm there on time. And if I leave to take like a phone call at lunch, I feel like they are like watching me to say, how long was she out? And I was like, it's just not like, so that is more my driving force that makes me happy, because I don't. And I hear people talk about like, oh, I only have so many vacation days or, sick time or whatever. And I'm like, I have never in my entire life had to deal with it, because my life is just, I get paid for the hours that I work. And if I want to take a vacation, I just take a vacation and know there's going to be a little lull in the payments.
In the paycheck.
Yeah, in the paycheck. But like, I know me and I cannot work for somebody else. And I love the ability, even here, especially, of just saying, like, no, I don't want to do that job. Thank you for asking.
But it is empowering when you can finally just be like, no.
Yeah. There was a particular job. There was a guy here that I hated that I was like, I worked with him once. It was miserable. And I said, they were like, oh, you have another project with him. And I said, if I do, I'm charging you double. Like, I'm going to be upfront of it. I was like, if I have to work with him, you're getting charged double for all of my hours. And I just rather not. And they were like, and they moved him to a different project. No.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It is always, knock on wood, worked out in my favor, because people know who I am, what I do, and what I'm capable of, that I have always had the freedom to say yes or no to what I want to do. I don't have, like, everyone here has come back 5 days a week. I still only come in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because the general consensus has always been I have tasks. And as long as I get my stuff done, nobody cares if I'm here during core hours, or as long as my stuff's done. So, If I come in and work at
And when you say
midnight,
here,
yeah.
you're talking about one of your clients.
Yes, so I have a office in the AEP headquarter building because American Electric Power is one of my main clients for the engineering stuff. So, yeah, so it's nice.
No,
And that's sort of
I
what
was gonna say,
motivates me to not have to like do the work for someone else and put my JPRs together, justify my
when I
position.
started this firm, my dad told me I wasn't made to work for anyone else.
Yeah.
And at the time I didn't get it. I was just like, you're mean. And now I'm like,
No.
nope, that is in fact a fact.
Yes.
And I appreciate that you knew it 11 years ago and just told me.
Yeah.
So
No.
I could embrace it.
Yeah. Same. My dad always said, like, he was like, there's no way you can like keep your mouth shut and not just be like, well, and I was like, you're not wrong, because there are many meetings when I'm in that I'm just like, that's a dumb way to do it, and I'd like to do it this way, and I'll just take care of it for you. And everyone's like, well, if she's gonna do it, then sure.
Yeah. My dad has never told me what made him think that I couldn't work for someone else.
Oh, that's interesting.
I should probably ask him.
Yeah.
Have to ask him. So aside from Amanda Graphics, because you love to be busy, you also own with your dad, I think, an HVAC company. You're getting your realtor's license.
So I have,
and maybe your broker's license.
I have my real estate license. I've had that right out of college. But now I'm thinking about getting my broker's because I have enough transactions under my belt. And the broker that I currently work for, they are looking for someone to maybe help take over as the assistant broker. And so I'm in talks to figure out how that would work. And I really love the idea of it in what we're talking about. Like, I have done Amanda Graphics since I was 22, 23, and I'm now
It
fourth.
sounds like before that, because your dad was
and through high school.
pulling you in high school.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it since you were
I've
14.
been doing it forever. So, I do wear many hats, and that is one thing that I probably, you're going to think I'm crazy because everyone does. For the real estate stuff, because I have gone down this path of doing maybe the brokerage, I started an internship program at Saxton. So I am training 5 interns that are in various positions in their schooling. I think 3 are about to graduate and are studying for their exam. But I meet with them, or try and meet with them, or keep up with them to go over. But it's like, I like helping people. I like growing business. But
I was going to say, I think you have a thing you like, which is scaling.
I do love scaling. I love, all the TikTok posts say that I'm ADHD. So self-diagnosed ADHD, where I love starting stuff and I love getting it to grow. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. What's next?
Have you ever taken a DISC assessment? It's like a personality assessment.
Oh, no.
So I took one 3 years ago, and the feedback is accurate, and it's a little harsh because it was first of all, well, I'll give you the sentence and I'll tell you what I messed up. It said, Allison loves a challenge, and when it ceases to be a challenge, she gets bored and moves on. And I was like, that's accurate. But to take the DISC assessment, it was so much not of a in my purview. I didn't even spell my name right. I just kept moving too fast because I was like, well, that's not important. Move on. Because that's not a challenge. And then the people who administered it were like, we're so sorry, your name's spelled wrong. And I was like, nah, I don't think that's you.
Yeah, you're like, I think that was me. Sorry.
So
add that to the assessment.
Yeah, I was like, that should just be number 1 of the assessment. Could you
can you spell your name right
to do your name right? No? Okay. Not a challenge.
Do you have your team do those sorts of, or is that just something you personally did?
So I'm in a coaching program, and the coaching program had us do it so that we could observe how we were as leaders and managers.
Okay.
Because one of the things that came out of it was how do you respond when you're stressed?
Oh.
So that, because sometimes you act out as stressed before the light bulb goes off that you are stressed.
Right.
And so it was really helpful for me to see that, because it's how other people see me when I'm stressed.
Okay.
And I think for most people, it's never flattering for anyone to see you when you're stressed, but to really take stock of it and say, guys or girls on my team, if you see this, tell me to go outside and take a walk. So that's kind of how I've utilized it. I haven't figured out what would be the takeaway if I had my team do it.
I see.
So, yeah. Anyhow, got a couple more questions for you.
Give them to me.
1, I've met your dad. I love him. He's adorable.
He's very cute.
But how do you think growing up in an Indian family impacted where you are today, how you made decisions, whether you worked for your dad or not?
Oh, so definitely growing up, and I'm going to try and think of the way to say this that is like not offensive to everyone else in the world. And I don't think I realized it until like an adult. Not that other families aren't family centered, but there is like we do for our parents and our parents do for us. So growing up, I mean, for college, I had a job, but it was just for beer and spending money.
Fun money.
Yeah, fun money. My parents paid for my college education. If I needed something, a car, or whatever, they helped pay. Now, they always instilled a sense of like responsibility, and my first job was at Tim Hortons, and that was still fun money. But I also paid for my own like insurance or gas or whatever. And not that other people don't, but there is definitely in me a feeling because we've had this discussion because Dad hasn't worked for graphics for a few years now, like hasn't come in. But if he wants something, like I make it happen. And a lot of people question or have asked me like how that works. And they're like, did you buy him out? And I'm like, no, he's still a partner in name on the company docs, and he always will be. There is no I have to buy him out or anything, but I also am hyper aware that I know all the times that he worked extra. And at the time I was like, this is dumb. This is a waste of money. Like, you don't have time to do it. And like, my time clearly is starting to wear thin between
our hats. Yeah, it was existing. And I give you props for working with your dad. I tried to do that and it was a nightmare. Yeah. All right. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, and you've lived it, right? Like, you've seen it 30 years ago when he was, doing stuff to make sure you had it. And so they don't have that context. I get that. I have that with relationships within my family that my wife doesn't always understand. And I was like, well, you had to have been there 25 years ago to really get it. Well, Amanda, thank you so much. I appreciate all of your words of advice to our listeners. Thank you.